Well, let's get our guests in here. So now, one of these fine people, Bruce, has been here with us before. Welcome back.
Thank you, Matt. Good to be back.
Absolutely.
Wearing my favorite T-shirt.
Yes, Legion of Solace. Yes, they all are.
They are, which very much says support local music, and I love it. And it has this beautiful phoenix on it.
Yes.
So it's like dually awesome of a T-shirt.
And Bruce, I'll let you introduce your comrades here.
Absolutely.
Your
With me today,
colleagues.
I've got Malcolm Wood.
Malcolm Wood, welcome.
Hello. Hello.
And I also have Rebecca Knockman with me as well.
Rebecca, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you. Oh, let me turn that mic up a little bit. Yeah, that mic. That's my least favorite mic in the room. You notice that one's the one that gives us. If there's one that gives us trouble, it's always that one.
Say hi to me so I can see if you're sounding good.
Sound better?
That's good. Yeah. You just got to talk right into it. Yeah, these mics are very, very unidirectional. So welcome. So for the uninitiated, for those who don't know, what is Legion of Solace? Because, and I think I even might have said this to you, Bruce, when I first heard the name Legion of Solace, I assumed it was a band.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even lie to you. A lot of people do.
So what is Legion of Solace exactly?
Well, the founder, Tuesday, shout out to Tuesday. I think she's watching right now. Shout out to Tuesday. She's our founder, and we're the co-founders. But also, Legion of Solace, what we do is to help promote anything and everything we can put our helping hand into.
Okay.
Whether it's a band, a venue, or anything else beneficial-wise that will help better the community, whether it's music-wise, venue-wise, that helps the music world too.
Yeah.
Like anybody who is backing and trying to have more local and up-and-coming bands shows, that's what we're for.
Okay.
And we're trying to eventually get to the point where we be like a big hub of like, hey, well, we had a show that it fell through, you know. Is there anything that we can pick up along the way? We're going to be traveling through Virginia here and such. Well, yes, let me call such and such at this venue, and we'll try to line something up.
Yeah.
You know, or just even like I said, we sponsor Nobody too, a band called Nobody.
Yep.
And we follow them on their mission of going to glory, you know, and helping promote them, like on the radio shows that we have.
Yeah.
Dark Mistress has a radio show, and I have a radio show, Quarantine with Malachi, that we do music videos and have anybody come in. Mine is more request form.
Okay.
You would come in and we'll just have fun and feel the vibe of the room for the day.
Yeah. So now how long have all three of you been involved in Legion of Solace?
Malcolm and Rebecca were involved before I was.
Oh, okay.
It started as more of like a social club mosh pit team.
Yeah.
And in 2021, we moved into the realm of event sponsorship with Blue Ridge Rock Festival, that year's iteration.
Okay.
And after the event, we decided to move from event sponsorship directly into involvement with the smaller bands, just because of, without going into too many details, just some of the things we saw that we thought we could change and handle better with direct relationships.
Okay.
And that's worked out quite well for us. We actually, this September, just celebrated 3 years converting to a more involved entity in the music scene. And it's worked out really well because we call ourselves full service. We can do everything but book the show itself.
Okay.
But like we even catered the pre-party last night.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, wow.
Cool. When we're not doing this, I cook for a living. Malcolm also cooks for a living. So when you put us both in the same room, it's like a chop challenge.
Working minds.
Yeah. Yeah, that's excellent.
And plus, we just wanted to kind of find some way to up the ante of what we did last year, of just coming over and hanging out and just being a presence.
Yep.
We were trying to be involved as much as we possibly can. And like I said, you know, when we say we come at you full service, it's even to the point where I'm an ordained minister.
Oh, no kidding.
Like I can literally marry you in every state but Virginia.
Will you be performing any weddings tonight at Swarmy Fest?
I mean, I can throw one down for you real quick. It ain't gonna be no problem.
Wow.
I mean, if it needs to be done, it needs to be done. I'm there for the service of it.
Yeah.
As well as we need more. We're trying to change it up in the world more now. You know, like we need more different ways of doing it. Instead of like, don't get me twisted. Traditional weddings are beautiful. It's very eclectic and everything else like that.
Yeah.
But why can't we be more, unique?
Right.
So why not? If you're a metalhead and you don't want to go through the traditional ways,
yeah,
come find me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a metalhead too. I love metalhead. I don't care. I'll sing it. Here comes the wedding bride. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever gets it done. The whole point about it is just we're here at full service for the music because we love music. I come from both sides of the spectrum. I used to be in a well-known band that's been around Lynchburg, Virginia for over 20 years, but even me growing up following that band before I joined them. Yeah. And they were called Hateful Bones.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And then so I know the whole thing. Like all of what Will is preaching, the same thing that Will was preaching about trying to be there for the music and helping it. That's my band did the same thing down where we were at. Like we were even getting people, trying to help get people even to go on to Blue Ridge Rock Festival when we won our showcase of going to do the after show at Blue Ridge Rock Festival. Yeah. So you see what I'm saying? Like me following that band is what eventually got me to where I'm at now.
Right.
Is where I want to be pretty much hub like you, or a spot where you can come and put your music at, where you can spend your blood, sweat, and tears into it. Yeah. And you don't have to sit there and go through the cesspool that is the music industry. Done. Right. Because I mean, if you think about it, legitly, it's pretty much that's what it is. It's a cesspool. You know? I mean, it's just poison after poison after poison. Yeah. So I mean, the better make it easier for everybody, as well as the more people who help share it. It not only knocks out your music being heard, but it helps us to push more across, whether it be America or internationally. Yeah. Because that's what our initial goal is. We want to be able to be hit up from people in, Australia, Italy, sure, you know what I'm saying, England, and be like, hey, we're coming to America and, this gig fell through. Can you hook us up? Yeah. But if not, already have our own, eventually in due time, land, space, property where we can throw on our own Legion of Solace events. Right. And it's not pay to play. Right. It's you come in and you get paid and you play. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, absolutely. Not you paying and sell tickets. Right. I mean, yes, obviously, yes, we want you to promote and try to help push to where some of your people will buy tickets. Yeah. But it's not going to be a guarantee, like how you got to go play on these big festivals at like Sonic Temple, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta go out there and put in some extra work. Right. To do so. But we don't want that. We want you to be able to come in and have as much fun as you can, enjoy the full experience, because that's what happened back in the day, right. Woodstock, you know what I'm saying? People, they were just coming in and having a ball. Right. It wasn't like pay to play. They probably would have looked at you like you were stupid and probably smacked with a guitar case. Of course, yeah. So, it's crazy. Now, what about you, Rebecca? How did you get involved in this?
So I actually met Malcolm back Blue Ridge when he was working for Hateful Bones. Okay. And I was just a bubbly, bouncy little child, so I was like, what can I do to help? And he was like, here's a ticket. Or a backstage pass, you can go ahead and help us with pictures and a whole bunch of other things. And so I just kind of picked up and followed him around. And it's always been a big part of my life to just help bands. Yeah. I've got tons of friends down in Radford and Roanoke area that are bands. I've got friends down in Woodbridge, Virginia that are also bands trying to get big. And so when he was like, yeah, we're actually converting it from just this group that we hang out with, we're going to go big and we want to do stuff with it. I'm like, helping people? I'm in. What can I do? Yeah. Oh, excellent. And so how long, I may have asked this before, but how long has this existed? It's been a number of years now, right? Right. Well, to give the backstory, and I'm not going to say any other club, it initially started off where we all met in a whole nother music club. Oh, okay. Much. Like we was even to the point where when we say it's the club experience, meaning is like most people thought we were MCs. Yeah. Because we were the whole battle vest. We had our heart patch. We had our, but we didn't have the 3-piece on the back. Like it literally says Legion of Solace music promotion because we want to, separate ourselves from that look. But we love that look because that's what's in rock and roll. That's what's always. You always wear your battle vest to a festival. You've always wear your battle vest into a mosh pit. Right. You've always done. You've always had your stuff where, hey, this band I saw back in 1987 and they rocked my world. And I had to get some kind of memorable. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You have that jacket where it has those war wounds. Yes. Where like I was in that mosh pit of Metallica where that dude almost got his neck broke. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And even before the age of the battle vest, it was the washed out acid wash denim jacket in the 80s with your old favorite band t-shirt that you've worn one too many times. So you cut the front of it off and ironed it onto the back of the jacket. Now it's totally cooler. Yeah.
But so that's initially what it was, and it was the club experience. And we were doing both simultaneously. Yeah. But to get ourselves more formatted and structured and stable within the music community, to know that we are dead serious about this. We took away the club aspect for a little while, and then been starting to focus on just find bands. Like I said, I want to do my radio show because, like I said, I've always wanted to be on a radio show earlier to you.
You've got the voice for it, yeah.
I try.
Yeah.
I'll show you a little skit of what I do, but like if you wanted to listen to it on FM radio, cool. I would like to do that also. But my thing is I wanted it to be the visual one because I've always entertained being on some kind of stage.
Yeah.
So, in order, especially when I'm not doing my music, I miss music so much that I would rather, start a radio show where I can have the music video up and me sitting in the corner, light show and all, and just going at it. You know what I'm saying? Just having fun.
Yeah. No,
headbanging,
getting
the crowd riled up and having entertainment. Just pretty much purely bringing as much true passion to this thing. Because when I grew up, it was rebel radio. It's like, oh, you don't want me to play that? No, screw you, dude. I'm right. You know what I'm saying? It's done. It's on.
Right.
So that's what I mean. I grew up in that area, and I would love to get that back because it's some of the things that we grew up on in rock and roll and how it went. It should have never changed. It wasn't broken. Let's not break it again. You know what I'm saying? Let's fix it and put it back the way it was. Yeah. Because obviously it was going better that way than it was you breaking it and trying to set a new rule. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all about rebel radio. I'm all about, just going out there and having fun.
Right.
And just enjoying music like how anybody would do. I would love to be able to have somebody call in and say, hey man, that last song you played, we're on a road trip, and it set the moment for our thing. I mean, it's not even a band I know. Who is that band?
Right.
So you see what I'm saying? We want to get everybody passionate and loving music again, instead of just being like, well, I listened to Slipknot from 1998 for the past 25 years, and Creed with Arms Wide Open, some Linkin Park from back in the day, and we want you to be able to still open your mind and be eclectic to new stuff, and not just be stuck in the same world.
Right. It's hard to get a lot of people. It's hard to even get them into new stuff. This is a subject that comes up a lot on the show because a lot of people, they get to a certain age and it's like, I mean, if I had to guess what the average is, I would guess 30. But I think for some people, it's like when they graduate high school where they just kind of go, okay, I've heard all the music I ever need to hear. I'm only going to like music up to this point, and anything after this, I don't like because all the good music has already been made, and people just get locked in. And I like to bring up, my father is a great exception to that. My dad's in his 70s. He lives on the seacoast, and he listens to WUNH, the great college station there, because he loves to hear new stuff. He's always listening to new music. Like you wouldn't get into a car with my dad and hear the oldie station on the radio. It's just not going to happen. He loves hearing new stuff, and he's always been like that. But that's rare. I feel like a lot of people, they just get to a certain point and they go, oh, that's it. Everything after this, I just don't like.
Right. Yeah. I'm 37 and I still want to go find newer things. That's the whole reason for this, as well as how can you call this work? Like I literally do cooking, but this is supposed to be a second job too.
Yeah.
It's not because we have so much passion and love for it.
Yeah.
It's a vacation.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole entire time me and Beck was on the way up here, we have not been able to decompress from our years of stress because the whole incident with Blue Ridge Rock Festival happened, and a few other places just disappearing, like Epic Center only coming around for 1 year. We have not been able to find a affordable festival to go to. Right. You know what I'm saying? To decompress and enjoy what we love and hearing new bands and finding new bands or whatever.
Yeah.
Around my area. So it's like coming up here is our decompression to reset our minds to be able to deal with the rest of the stress of the year that's going to come to us.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So like that's how much we love music, is that it helps us in more ways than one.
Yeah.
Other than just passing time, like, oh, well, that was just a good song. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm glad I accidentally listened to that.
Right.
This is, we're really going. I literally sat there sometimes, not here recently because I've been busy with working as a cook.
Yeah.
That I would sit there and I would even tell him like the next day, like I barely got 3 hours of sleep, man. I went down what I call the wormhole. I went down the rabbit hole. And I went so far that it's like I'm, pretty much the Mad Hatter sitting there on my 20th cup of coffee or tea, and just like, man, I mean, what do I find? Because once I start finding new stuff that I've never heard in my life, whether it either they've been signed to a label that is not very fancy or one of the big labels, I'm all about finding new music. Like that's why I have a segment in my thing called Mystery Bands with Malachi.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like where I spend at least 30 seconds to a minute, dead radio silence. And just sit there and go scroll, just so I can also knock out two birds with one stone and prove that it is not that hard to find new music.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it's easier than ever. There's no excuse not to.
Not to.
Right.
I mean, you have Apple, you have, Spotify.
Yeah.
You have all these other things, but
you got TikTok.
Yeah, you got TikTok. You got all these bands. Like that's how I'm finding some of these bands that are before they get too big to where you can't play them because I don't have any certifications to play through my radio station.
Yeah.
Except for on Twitch, they'll let so much go. But if you start playing some Godsmack,
right,
then it's like, all right, no, we got to mute that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I have limits. So as long as I stay where I'm supposed to be at, which is the content of local and up and coming, as well as requests.
Yeah.
And every now and again, like I said, I love my rebel radio, so because I'm a rebel to the core. Every now and again, you might see me sneak something in there, even if it's like 30 to 45 seconds of 5 minutes alone, or what I'm saying, like something really cool that everybody knows to kind of just keep the hypeness and the joy of the room. But other than that, that's what our platforms are made for, is to help up and coming in anything local.
Where do you stream?
I do it. I've been on the mix of going back and forth between Facebook and Twitch because Facebook for the longest time was letting me play whatever, even if it was something well known.
Yeah.
And then it cut to the point where as long as it was local and the AI couldn't pick it up.
Okay.
I could play it on Facebook. And then I was like, all right, I was tired of losing all my fans. Because for the longest time, for like the first 2 years, I've been doing, according to Malachi, for almost 5 years.
Yeah.
Roughly. And when I first started out, I was playing to nobody.
Yeah.
Even on Facebook. It was like 1-2 people come in and like, oh, you're playing videos. No, we don't go away. I don't want to listen to that.
Right.
I don't want to see the light show. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? Like, so for a couple years, I played to myself, which was fine. I still went on there, entertain, have a ball, have fun.
Yeah.
The experience is what was needed. And, but I initially started doing it on there. And then when they started really hardcore getting into it, like pretty much red streaming, immediately blocking your feed.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, now I need to find something else. So I went to Twitch.
Okay.
So we're on the mixture of Twitch and all that. And now that Discord is coming more to fruition of actually doing live shows.
Yeah.
I feel like over there they would give you, and then they're saying like some places like Patreon and all that, if you're doing live, they don't care what you do over there. You can literally go over there and spit into a bucket. You know what I'm saying? All day long in the whole entire time, and they wouldn't care.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's all depending on where you go and how much you want to pay. So Twitch is kind of like in our feet because right now what we're doing, we're running this company off our own wallet.
Yeah.
This is not like we're out here scamming people and getting it all over. No, we actually, that's what I said. When you go to our LegionofSolace.com page and you go to Legion Alley and you buy merch, that money is not going into our pockets. Right. If it does help to us to either A, get up here to do something, or B, to sponsor something, yes, we might use a little of it. But other than that, most of that money goes to, hey, this band said they needed a sponsorship. They're about to go on tour. They're short $200, in between $200 to $400.
Yeah.
All right. We all talk amongst each other. You have enough to do it this week? Yeah. Put the money together, send it off to them. There you go. Like everything that we're doing, we're running straight out of pocket. Like I just bought a new gamer laptop just to make sure I have good enough multitasking streaming.
Yeah.
To be able to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's all on my own dime. It's not like we're, eventually, like I said, we're going to be becoming an LLC, know, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We're working towards everything. But it's just, we got to do what we got to do for right now.
I was curious about the streaming because my experience with this show is so like right now we're streaming to Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
And what has been happening lately is so Facebook, I'll get a notification afterward that says you're sharing ad revenue with whoever the guest's music that we played was, which is fine. And then I just click accept. So it stays on Facebook. They don't take it down because there was a little bit of a period where they would actually just take it down. Now they don't. And with YouTube, I usually get a notification that just says, sometimes it'll say your video is blocked in certain countries, but never the US, which is good. And they just, I can't monetize it, which I don't expect to be able to anyway, because I'm, it's copyrighted stuff. But,
but once they see that you're an actual legit FM and AM radio station, they probably like, oh, well, he has the credits to do so.
I think you're right because I used to get blocked. Like on Facebook, they would block it, and then I would file the appeal, and I would say we're a federally licensed FM radio station. Blah blah blah. I had this whole spiel, And then after a while, they just stopped blocking it. And then instead, I started getting the ad revenue share thing. So yeah. But you said so. But Twitch doesn't give you a hard time.
Not unless I'm playing something extremely well known, like a well known band like Five Finger Death Punch or Lamb of God, or something that immediately, as soon as you hear, like, oh, that's my sugar. Oh, that's Bulls on Parade. That's this. If it ain't got that, it's good. Like anything that's up and coming. That's why I try this. Like, because I'm one person and I can't get all the way around America and deep into the bowels of it. That's why we, like I said, we have the Legion of Solace, to where you can come into any of our pages.
Yeah.
Talk to us, write us, say, hey man, I came across this band that I saw last night at an underground show. Here's their credentials. Here's what this is. Here's a good video that you can put upon your show, or you can just come in and drop the link into my video. Radio show. Yeah. It doesn't matter. As long as it's not something well known, we're good.
Yeah, I was curious about that too, because I could, in theory, I could stream this to Twitch and it's set up to do that, but the only reason I don't is because I've just heard horror stories about them being super touchy about.
It is what it is. It was more, I think it's more along the lines, especially like if you can fight it.
Yeah.
Like with you having all the credentials to do so.
Yeah.
They'll immediately like, all right, well, we'll let you go. We'll leave you alone. I have that feeling. The only time they've ever bothered me is actually if I'm putting up a legit video of like, Lona Shores, and I put up the Hellfires video.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually put it to where people can go back and rewatch it.
Okay.
Then that'll be a problem.
Gotcha.
But if it's a band or up and coming band or local band, it's not gonna be a matter, because it's not on their registry to be like, oh well, we can't block. There's no stopping that.
Gotcha.
That's why I was like wanting to also talk to you. Like, how did you even be able to get this appeal on FM radio?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to figure out how I can do that same thing down in Lynchburg, Virginia, in my home.
Right.
Because that's literally what I do. I sit in my studio and I just go down the rabbit hole and find up and coming bands and unsigned bands, or whoever somebody comes in and requests. Yeah. And play it. Like we've been playing a bunch of the bands, like Dead by Wednesday. I play them just about all the time on the radio show.
Yeah.
I've played I play Sepsis all the time. I play Nailbite.
Inverter.
Inverter. Yeah, we play all the Inverter guys. Anybody that I didn't come across personally, or just I found amongst going down the rabbit hole.
Okay.
I'm playing on the radio show. And like I said, you're always welcome. And I'm even about to start a WhatsApp app thing to where you can call in just like on your show, like I did for your show.
Yeah.
Where you can call in and talk to me, and you can do your request per calling.
Okay.
And we can even have a conversation, because my podcast is whatever it is about music. Whether we can talk about the whole, it doesn't matter what genre. You want to talk about the Diddy situation? Let's talk about the Diddy situation.
Yeah.
I'll give you my opinion on it. Cool. Blah, blah, blah. It's totally uncensored. And that's the great thing about Twitch too.
Right.
You can, as long as you set the things right, to where it's, saying, hey, this is supposed to be something that's over 18, blah, 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 blah. And then next thing you know, you can do whatever you want and talk, about whatever situations you want.
Yeah.
Because I like Will, I'm very, as you can tell, I'm trying to keep my my composure about me and not try to do anything stupid and just automatically think like I'm on my own radio show and just go at it, because I'm just one of those type of people.
Yeah.
I don't have no filter.
Yeah.
I have no filter at all whatsoever. So it was even worse when I'm in the kitchen. I kid you not, it's even worse when I'm in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is, it's just we're all here to have fun, man.
Yeah.
And live life. And our passion is music. My music has always been passion. Like my passion has always been music. Even when I was in middle school, all that stuff, growing up with the chorus, the band, everything that I possibly could.
Yeah.
Literally, even to the point of getting kicked out about the music teacher because I'm wearing a Marilyn Manson shirt.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. What I'm saying? My music teacher could not stand anybody who wanted to start a band.
No kidding.
Now, if you want to start a band with some trumpets, trombones, some flutes, some sax,
right,
he's down for that.
Right.
But he wasn't for the whole, oh, you coming in a Marilyn Manson shirt. Oh, you got a Nirvana shirt on. Get out of my class.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I'll come from all that.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And you're from Virginia.
Yes, sir.
And Bruce, you're in Massachusetts?
I'm in Massachusetts. I grew up in Ohio. I've been out here for 13 years.
And Rebecca, where are you from?
So I'm from Northern Virginia, like right outside of DC. But for the past 4 years, I was actually out in Colorado and just recently got back to Northern Virginia.
Oh, okay. All right. Very good. What sent you to Colorado?
personal life issues, I kind of had to abandon ship pretty quick and get out to safe zone with mom.
Gotcha.
And then rebuilt up, and now I'm kind of picking up the messes of what happened. But we're getting better. We're going up, and
good.
Yeah.
Good. Very good. Yeah. If you are just joining us, we have members of Legion of Solace here with us, live in studio. What are some of the things that you see wrong? Because Bruce, you had made a reference to this earlier. You said some of the things that you see wrong in the music scene that are part of the motivation for why you're doing this. Things that you want to fix or help with.
The biggest issue is pay to play.
Yeah.
If you are providing talent and you are providing entertainment, why do you have to pay me to do so?
Right.
You are the artist in that situation. Shouldn't you be paid for your art?
Yeah.
So if you're invited, like Jen, you don't get invited to Mosaic with a bill. You get invited to Mosaic with a hanging hook.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
She doesn't.
But I do pay an entrance fee.
There is an entrance. There is an entrance fee. That's
but
true.
it's a reasonable. This is a juried show, so right.
So the entrance fee is to be juried.
Correct.
Yeah.
But once you're invited to be on the bill,
there's no more money, right?
Right. So and like some of the bigger festivals, not only do they have an application fee, if you're not selected, it's a non-refundable application fee.
Really?
So like
that stinks.
Take Blue Ridge for example. If they're booking 186 bands for the 4 days, they might take 600 applications. Now, of those 600 applications, they might only book 40 of the small independent unsigned bands.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's 550 bands that just gave $75 application fee per band.
Wow.
That they don't get back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many gigs could they have driven to for that $75? How many meals could they have bought while they were on the road for that $75?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
That's where we come in. A lot of these promoters, especially like at the merch table, things like that. My opinion is the venues are making a nice upcharge on the liquor at the bars.
Oh yeah, that's where they make their money.
And especially ticket fees, especially with some of the national acts. Even if you're not going through Ticketmaster, Live Nation, or any of the big demons in the ticket industry, even like e-tix or front gate tickets, Ticket Fly, you're still paying convenience fees. You're still paying a third party just for printing a ticket or putting your name on a list.
Mm-hmm.
And that has to stop.
Yeah.
But like I understand that venues need an income as well. And I understand that the service fee has a purpose.
Yeah.
But why am I paying a $19.75 service fee on a $35 ticket? Right.
Well, the thing is too, if you buy tickets online through Live Nation, Ticketmaster, it's the same thing. Like for a big tour, very often you have no idea what that final price is going to be until you get to that last screen.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And you might be going to see, you might think it's $100 a ticket to see whoever. And then, and it's set up so you don't know until you get to that very last screen. All of a sudden there's all these fees, and maybe you bought 2 tickets for $100 thinking it's going to be 200 total. And, or you might be savvy enough to think, wow, it's not going to be $200. This is going to be more than that. There's going to be some sort of taxes or whatnot. And you get to that final screen where it's, time to click, purchase now. And it's like almost twice as much.
Right.
It's incredible. And
I mean,
it's like,
that sounds
whoa.
like DoorDash.
Well, and it's pricing a lot of the younger generations out of the bigger shows and out of the rooms. Mm-hmm. So it's also putting our local music scene and our younger music scene in jeopardy, because every day we're losing small music venues because people are so disgusted with the way that it's going on at big music venues.
Sure.
That they're just walking away from live music altogether and they're going back to the grassroots, going back to the bar, sit down, have a couple of beers, pay a $5 cover charge, listen to 3 or 4 quality bands, or like in today's case at Swarmy Fest, 8 quality bands.
Mm-hmm.
It's what, $20 to get in the door tonight, if I remember correctly.
I believe so. Yeah.
And they do have a bit of a service fee at the venue, and it's like maybe $5 or $6 per.
Yeah.
So which makes sense. You have to help keep the lights on somehow.
Right.
You have to pay the staff, which is respectable.
Yeah.
But $5-6 service charge is no different than giving your waitress or your bartender a $5 bill on your way out the door saying thank you for what you did.
Right. But it's not a situation where you end up paying twice what you were expecting.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, see, and that's the glorious thing about all the smaller bands, the band like events. It's like, come on now, just like tonight. Look how many bands you get to go watch for that buck. You know?
Yeah.
It's $20, and you're like, man, I don't even know these bands. Why should I have to pay this much? And you have those type of people.
Right.
And I just want to take a second and mention all 8 bands on the bill.
Oh yeah, please.
Opening is Diamond Edge, followed by Exception, then Lone Wolf James, Joint Damage, Hero and the Horror, Casting Shadows, Dead by Wednesday, and then Sepsis will be headlining the party. A reminder, doors are going to open at 5. Music starts at 5:30, and it's going to go almost continuously until roughly the 11 o'clock hour.
Okay. Very good.
And I know tomato, taffeta, taffeta. Either way, it's easy to find at 110 Western Avenue in Lowell, Massachusetts.
I'm 99.9% certain it's taffeta.
We've just been an ongoing argument this whole entire time.
We have been having that internal discussion since about Tuesday ourselves.
There is no way it's taffeta.
You should definitely hear. You should hear our founder Tuesday. She tries to say it too. It's kind of like she's calling it taffy sometimes. But to answer your question more, so another reason why we try to do this is, like I said, I've been on Blue Ridge 2 years, the first 2 years of, and thank God we didn't have to do pay to play, but I've seen everybody else's methods.
Yeah.
Well, going through this, as well as the whole way of the thing about it is, it sucks because it should not have to go down the way it does. Like, we were trying to do a sponsorship through them. We did do a sponsorship through them.
Oh.
And we made a big giant, drop poster and all that to be put somewhere where they told us to do.
Yeah.
Never got put up. We were supposed to be put on the big teleprompters, with our picture, our logo. We was actually put upon the scavenger hunt and all that stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
But nothing was properly advertised.
Oh,
we
no.
want to stop that.
Yeah.
Because if people are paying to help you run this thing, our thing for Legion of Solace should have been up instead of I have pictures of it where it's sitting at our tent site.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to. Nobody was communicating well enough.
Yeah.
Nobody was doing their job per se.
And just to be clear, this is something that you paid for.
Absolutely.
Yes, like out of pocket,
and they just didn't.
For us. Yes.
And what did they have an excuse ready for you?
They didn't even say nothing about it. Like
really?
The next year that we tried to go do the same thing again, they hit us with we need to have an insurance policy, especially if you're going to have a vendor set up, whether you're selling something or not. You need to make sure that the insurance on it is what, $1 million?
I think it was $2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that we haven't had an insurance policy on just of us wanting to set up a spot to bring the information to people who love unsigned bands and up and coming talent.
And it was literally for just in case like somebody fell down and hit their head on a table, or our 10 by 10 canopy blew away and hit somebody, which 2023 would have made a lot of sense for that policy actually.
Right. Which I understand. Yes, it's understandable to have some kind of insurance policy, but it's all depending on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like with us, we're more like, you come into coming into a new state and it's like, hey, here's the welcome center. That's pretty much what we are until we get more stuff established. Yeah. But even so, then we roughly sell most of our stuff online.
Yeah.
For that year, we were going to push to try to get more along the lines of our .com up and going and having traffic going to it.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen that way because, for one, they didn't put our banner anywhere. They didn't have us up on the big teleprompters, which was supposed to happen 3 times every third band.
Okay.
3 times a day, all 4 days.
Oh, yeah. For every third band on each set of stages.
Yeah.
It's supposed to go 3 times a day.
Yeah.
We had
never happened.
We had a group of 15 people. Not a single eye saw it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, literally, we have friends that me and Becca know from going to multiple festivals.
Yeah.
That we was like, hey, if you see it, snap a picture.
Yeah.
Text it to me. Even though it might take the whole rest of the day to send it to me because we're around so many people.
Right.
And that added like another 80 set of eyes just from that individual group of people that I was hanging out with. I was like, keep an eye out.
Yeah.
No one. Not a single day.
Oh, that's disappointing.
So that's the thing. We want to stop that thing because that's something that you can easily be bypassed and that none of us could see.
Yeah.
Because we're either in motion to another spot or You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So we want to stop the not necessarily, even if it was an accidental problem.
Sure.
We don't want it to happen anymore.
Right.
And then once we establish our own thing of doing our own concert thing, that's what we want it to be. You want you to come in, live comfortably, you drink some water, relax this time you do your show. We might even have some crew that'll help put your equipment up there after you set it up there to where it makes it quicker for you, whatever.
Yeah.
The whole point about it is, and then at the end, we hand you some money.
Yep.
As long as you're helping to push, promote, and all that, share,
Yep.
that brings a lot more. And another thing, competitiveness of bands.
Yeah.
That's another thing we want to stop. We want everybody to work together.
Yeah.
We want to prove to everybody there's enough out here for everybody to get their dreams desired.
Right. Yeah.
There's no need to sit here and fight like, oh, well, no, we don't need that band because they're going to outshine us tonight because my voice is a little raspy. We just did 3 shows the other night. I'm hitting you with how you doing, Dollface, type voice. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, whatever. So be it. If that's what happens, y'all did a great show tonight. Everybody has an off night. Stop the competitiveness.
Yeah.
Work with each other. Stop saying, well, they're not, just because they're not in our genre and we're doing heavy metal and growls and screams. Yeah. And they're more clean vocals. Like I saw Knockfest. There was Behemoth, Gojira, Slipknot, Volbeat.
Yeah.
I was security for that concert show because that was my first official paid job.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many fights I had to stop that night because Volbeat.
Oh, really?
Yep, and that tour.
That was the hype band of the night, and you got Slipknot. Like, come on.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And the biggest thing was like personal from Slipknot themselves. That was the tour where everybody started like fighting each other and like hitting each other with all the spikes on their jackets and everything like that.
Really? See, I didn't hear about any of this. Really?
Yeah. So it got really bad. I think the show previous to the venue that I was working at was like down in North Carolina or something like that. And people started grabbing their umbrellas and beating each other with it. And we don't that's not a part of our crew.
No. Wow. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just crazy what we've all seen and experienced in our time of being this. Because before I met Becca and them, she was traveling with her peoples all the time, going to festivals more than me.
Yeah.
I didn't start going to festivals until, like 8-9 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And fell in love with it. I said, screw one-nighters.
Right.
I'd rather pay that money that you would pay to have the VIP event, all that stuff, and go literally stay there and camp.
Yeah.
Because it makes it that much more memorable, that much more fun that you get to meet new people that are in that world. I have just about every friend I've met at an event.
Yeah.
And I've been really good friends, except for like my childhood friends.
Yeah.
So everybody, like every time I go to a festival, it's a new friend that I've met, a new person in a new state, city, country. It does not matter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. We want to communicate and do this pretty much like how it was back in the day. Hey, Ozzy, you want to come play with, Jimmy and, everybody else? Sure. I'll see you on the next flight. All right, cool. We get it done. You see what I'm saying? We want it back to the way back it was. It was much more easier back in the day than what it is today.
Yes.
Right. Well, Ozzy might not show up though. I wouldn't depend on him.
I guess if he's still having that ant addiction. And,
right. Oh, you've seen The Dirt?
Yeah, I love The Dirt.
Yeah. Jenny and I watched that.
I love that movie. I fell in love with it. And also, the longest little wristband I ever had was a Motley Crue.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For the longest time. So
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the old, because I grew up with a band right behind my grandmother's house.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So when I was saying I would hear them playing everything from Clapton to Disturbed to whatever. Like, they were just very eclectic in what they do.
Yeah. If you are just joining us, we have members of Legion of Solace here with us live in studio on this Saturday morning. It's a very special Saturday. Tonight is Swarmy Fest at Taffeta in Lowell, which looks like, now, have any of you been there already?
I have, yes.
You have. It looks, from what I saw online, it looks like a nice place.
It's a nice room. It's a very dark room.
Okay.
In my opinion, it has very much an old speakeasy feel to it.
Okay.
It's kind of a galley down one side where you'll find the entrance, the ticket window, the bar. There's a permanent merch booth as well that we'll probably expand upon for all the bands.
Okay.
There is a small sitting lounge off in the corner, so if you need to get away from the loud of the stage area itself, there's some comfy chairs in the corner.
Yeah.
And then you can move into the actual square concert space as well.
Okay.
Room looks to hold, I'd say, just a guess, maybe 300 to 600 people comfortably.
Oh, okay, yeah. So decent sized room.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is big stage or?
Good size stage.
Yeah.
Very good sound quality. a very punctual venue, which I like to see. So some venues will be like, yeah, show goes to 11, 2:30. You're still waiting on the headliner. But where this particular venue is located, it's also around a brewing company, and it's in a residential district. They're in a high-rise complex with some studios and some loft spaces as well, so they have to be very conscious of their time.
Yeah, yeah. I laughed when you said that about the punctuality, and because people in this area around Manchester, some people probably remember the bomb shelter. I don't know if any of you are aware.
I have heard stories.
Yeah. And yeah, I remember playing there, and none of the bands that I were in were headliners, so to speak, but I remember going on stage at 2 a.m. and, being the only ones left in the room. It was, yeah. So I appreciate a punctual venue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
Yeah. There's a lot of stories about the bomb shelter, and some of them are good stories, and some not that great. But
also, while we're speaking about Swarmy Fest, I just want to take a moment and mention all of the sponsors for the event as well. Not only are we the lead sponsor and co-host for the event, we thank our family here at Matt Connarton Unleashed for joining us.
Oh, yeah.
As well as BPS Records, Speed Demon Promotions, and our friends over at NH Guitars.
Okay.
Big shout out to those guys, especially for me, because they actually worked on my guitar for me.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. Yeah.
And they did a great job on it, brought everything back, helped me out with it, because I'm not very, I guess, smart with the whole internal part of a guitar.
Yeah.
So I mean, I had to have them check it out. My guitar was making some weird sounds.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So he was like, "Yeah, that's some dirt." And then it's like, come to find out, it's called dyslexic wiring. The person that I got it from, and it makes sense.
Yeah,
the person I got it from was a little dyslexic.
Oh,
is a little.
Okay.
So all the wiring was just like it's backed up.
Oh, no.
It's a little weird, but it still works.
Yeah.
So it's just what it is. But so I mean, big shout out to NH Guitars. Thank you for looking out for me. Y'all guys did an amazing job. We will be also doing a write up about our experience with going to go see the spot of NH Guitars. I mean, they just made you feel like you're a part of the family the moment that you walk in. So it's amazing. Big shout out to those guys.
And
we met them at a show. Was it the first Swarmy Fest? You remember we met the guys from NH Guitars?
Yes, it wasn't the first Swarmy Fest.
Yeah, they were really nice.
Yep. Yeah. But Paul did mention that they were one of the sponsors of the original Swarmy Fest a couple years ago. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And,
I think we were the first. The first two was us and them.
Yeah, might have been. Yeah, might have been.
And that's what we love. That's what I'm saying. Yep. Being able to show that you can come around and work with anybody who is locally doing something like this, like Sepsis, like everybody in the sponsorship as well as the venue itself.
Yeah.
And you see how you could all work together and still make an amazing show and have fun and not be so stressed out of pay to play, being on somebody else's time, like strict time. Like
yes.
Right.
How it was being like going to Blue Ridge, like with us, literally there was no venturing around.
Yeah.
So we literally had to stay in spot and wait.
Oh, no.
For our time. Just we didn't want you to be lost. So just so happened to get caught up with some fans and, waste too much time.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. We like what we're doing and we love what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, are any of you, because Malcolm, you mentioned you play guitar.
Yes.
Are any of you currently in bands, active bands?
I'm in between bands. I'm working on trying to get my own one back up.
Oh, okay.
Back in Lynchburg.
Okay.
Be able to be touring and traveling.
Oh, excellent.
Because I was doing it that when we first initially started this, I was still doing this with Legion of Solace as well as my band. It was a twofer to be able to help spread the word along the music community to every other local band that no matter what state we went to, because we were traveling.
Yeah.
We used to come up here to Fish Head Cantina and, Hellstorm, Maryland.
Yeah.
We did the Blue Ridge and we went down south to the Outback ATV Park and all that other stuff. So we've ventured out to quite a lot of places, and a lot of places that we do show, there's a lot of local bands that don't even know that there's a Matt Connarton out there that's actually allowing you to go, hey, can you play this on your show? And and it's not like, well, you need to give us a commission for playing your song on the show, or you need to do this, or you need to go through this, wormhole.
Right.
No, it's just legitly, you come to us, you want us to play it. Well, we have 2 radio shows. We have Dark Mistress, which is the founder, and then we have According to Malachi. So you have 2 radios, as well as you can just write any one of us that's in the crew and just say, hey, this is a band I think you guys should check out.
Yeah, we're a far cry from the days where you showed up at the studio with the 45 in your hand, and a $50 bill inside of the envelope.
Yeah. By the way, we have some folks in the Facebook live chat. So Tuesday Faith is
that was our president and founder.
Okay, very good. Yeah, Tuesday says, thank you for having us and allowing us to tell y'all who we are. Oh, absolutely. Happy to do it. Angel Dawn Stark says, and I think this is about you, Malcolm.
God.
That's one reason I love you. LOL, no filter. You were talking about the show that you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Angel also said Manson. Yes. Chris Queensberry is in the chat and says,
Chris Quiz.
Yep. Says, keep pushing on supporting locals, guys.
Yes. He's another person who is very hardcore into the scene. He's actually a part of a mosh team.
Okay.
And like they actually go out and support just about every band that's around the Central or Virginia area.
Okay.
Shout out to the Icon Pit crew in Carolina.
Icon. I got mad friends in it, and there's another lady who actually makes merch that's inside the Icon crew. Like we know quite a few people that are in the crew that we could, reach out to help out and make it even better. You see what I'm saying?
If you have been to Blue Ridge Rock Festival, Incarceration, or Sonic Temple and have seen the bedsheet sign "Pit Here" flying between two 1x4s, that's either the Icon Pit crew or our good friends in the Hounds of Hell Mosh team.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, we try, like I said, we try to put ourselves out there as much as far and as deep as we can into the music community, let people know, like we have a spot strictly for local and up and coming talent, where you don't have to go fight through it. You don't have to, if you don't want to upload it on YouTube and you want to play it strictly through us.
Yeah.
You can do that. That way it saves you money and stress of like, how many numbers do we have today, Wilson? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Scrolling the data.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, I don't like looking at the insights, but I do.
Right. Yeah.
Because just for my own self.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But the thing about it is a confusing situation to deal with in general. But why not? You know what I'm saying? It's worth it.
Yeah.
Especially if you know that you can make it that much better for somebody's dreams to come true. Whether that dream just be 100,000 people hear my music.
Right.
Even if it is through a playback, 100,000 people saw my music, and like we share to big shout outs to Ireland Metalhead. They allow us to come into their private community and allow me to share my radio show over there.
Yeah.
To where they can come in and actually request something from over there because we don't know anything about it over there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we want to be international. So the only way we can do that is actually pretty much dig ourselves into wherever we can.
Yeah. Evan Gordon is in the chat and says, love you guys. Love my Legion family.
Love you.
Let's see.
That is our founder and president's husband.
Yes.
Oh, very good. Very good. All right. I don't know if I'm going to say this correctly. Zara.
Oh, that's Zaida.
Oh, Zaida?
That's Zaida. Shout out to the prep crew at the Cut Live in Gloucester.
Okay. Zaida says, my friends are on the radio. Love you guys.
Mad love.
Bruce Heberlin Jr., Malcolm, and Becca. Miss you guys. Wishing I was there with y'all.
We miss you too, man.
Very nice.
Hopefully you can make it out.
Brandon Morissette's in the chat, said something I can't read on the air, but also throwing the horns.
All right.
Justin Michaels from 4HM Clothing was on the show recently, says, let's see. 4HM Clothing line loves y'all. Very nice. Very nice. Brandon also said this I can read on the air. Can't wait till tonight.
Right.
Very good.
Can't wait for the night either. We're so stoked about it.
It's going to be a great party.
Oh, yeah.
Our friend Miriam Banish is also in there and says, good morning.
Good morning.
And just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody in there. Well, we are, the time goes quickly. We are already approaching the hour. So remind us anything the three of you want to make sure that we know about tonight, and anything that you want to make sure that we know about Legion of Solace before we conclude the segment.
Just a reminder, doors open at 5. Music starts at 5:30, continues till 11. If you want to know more about Legion of Solace, you can find us on Facebook. I believe we are on Twitter, Instagram, and you can also find us at legionofsolace.com. We have a full merch store, and a reminder, any purchase that you make helps us put it right back directly into the local music community and help keep entertainment on the stages in your towns.
Yes, absolutely. Legionofsolace.com. Did you say the website?
Yep.
You did. Legionofsolace.com. Yep. So everybody check that out. And thank you all three of you for coming in today.
Thank you for having us.
This has been wonderful. Yeah, we'll do it again in the future. Definitely.
Yes,
definitely.
Sir. I would love to be back on here with you, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then we've got BPS Records coming up third hour. Is that correct,
yes.
Jenny?
Yes.
BPS Records
big shout out real quick. Big shout out to BPS Records because I saw y'all's podcast the other night and y'all gave a shout out to us. So all respectfully, we need to throw a little shout out back to y'all live on the stream too. Why not send that retort back in the same way that you sent it to us? Thank you for shouting us out and letting people know who we are and that we're sponsoring the show and we're here to help.
Very nice, very nice. And we'll close the segment with, I'm going to play another Dead by Wednesday track. This is one that, because they were on the show with us last week, it all gets to be a blur. Was it last week? I think it was last week.
Was it last week or the week before?
It might have been the week before. But they were here talking about the show tonight.
Where am I?
They're going to be playing today. This is one of the ones that we didn't get to. This is called Mars in Exile. So we'll close out this segment with this, but if you are listening live on Saturday, we have another hour to go. BPS Records coming up next, and Legion of Solace. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.